and then it attracts even more data. Someone call it voracity. And I'm seeing something like 15 V's in the same space. But suffice to say, these are at least the four things that we are seeing almost must. So just to give you the sense of the numbers that I was talking about here. So in the 2010 to 2020, in 10 years, we are thinking, we are seeing almost 50 times growth in volume. We're talking about close to 30 zettabytes of information. And we already have billions and billions of devices. One of the key things about this is a lot of this data, around 80%, or sometimes experts vary between 80 and 90%, is really not structured data. Now we've been used to dealing with structured data for ages, and we have figured out various ways of how do we deal with it, what we can achieve with it. But a lot of this we are seeing is unstructured. When I mean unstructured, it could be in the form of text, or it could be in the form of images, videos, or feeds coming in from various medical devices or cell phones, RFID devices, all kinds of things. It doesn't absolutely have any structure. You need to bring some structure to it, and then go further with it. Right? And just to give a glimpse of what veracity is, when one of the surveys we did, we figured out that 1 in 3 business leaders don't really trust the information they're having to make decisions. Right? So that is just to give you an idea of how important the veracity part is. I just want to next give you a sense of the kind of applications or the use cases that the big data technologies are trying to solve. And all of these are real use cases, by the way. Not taking the names of the customers, but they are all very real. So in one case, there was this government organization. They wanted to figure out intrusion detection, and they had laid out these acoustic cables, a lot of fiber optic cables, which would generate acoustics data. And it was like 5,000 individual streams, and in terabytes per second, data was coming in. And they had to analyze all that and figure out where actually an intrusion has occurred. Right? And you cannot expect hours of analysis and then figure out, oh, that is where it might have happened. So we have used some of the real-time analytics capabilities to bring it from hours to just 70 milliseconds. And there was this utility company which had a lot of these smart meter installed. And what they were up to is, can I bring down the load on the grid? Can I predict how much the load is going to be? And one of the things that they wanted to figure out, I want to charge higher for peak hour usage, and so that way you ask people to use less, incentivize off-peak hour things. So again, this had a lot of these millions and millions of smart meters talking to each other, and then saying, this is my actual consumption that's happening now, and based on that we could actually predict in real time where the consumption is going to be, where do I need to route it, and how do I optimize the whole thing. And another interesting use case is, which is my favorite, is in hospital. So this is a neonatal care hospital in the North American region. They had these prematurely born babies, which are kept in incubators, and these incubators have some 30, 40, 50 types of devices attached to them. Typically what happens is a doctor or a nurse comes every 15 minutes or an hour, just looks at various graphs and data points these devices are generating, and then seeing, okay, they're fine, they're not fine. But one thing the researchers realized was that if we can correlate all these data in real time, right? The data coming from, say, ECG with the EKG, with the heartbeat monitor, with with humidity, temperature, all those things, we could actually predict an onset of an infection much ahead of time. So in this case, the researchers could actually figure out that an infection might occur 24 hours in advance. Right. Now, for a 2-day-old, a 3-day-old baby, this 24 hours is a question of life and death. And that's just because we can do this massive correlation across multiple types of data in real time. Now, I can go around. I know in the interest of time, I'll just skip the other things and